It's streetchic.jp. It's street like a street.
Oh shit.
Chic, CHIC.jp. I think this is a really cool one. It's drifty, stancy, primarily drifty focused media, that you just may not see every day on Instagram. So
damn, bro, you just put me up on game. Holy shit. I've never seen this website before.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
There's a tab called Girls. That's the first thing I'm going to click on.
Of course it is, you motherfucker. It's just probably girl drivers or some shit.
It is. But the fact that they have to get their own tab.
Yeah, Japan is really interesting about girl drivers, dude, because they also have D1 Ladies League. Their Drift Tengoku will have or is it Drift Tengoku or is it VIP style? Might be VIP style. Will sometimes have a women's only section. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if it's good or bad.
I think it's a double fold kind of thing because there should be no differentiation between women.
That's
and
kind
men.
of where I'm at. Yeah.
But at the same time, I can imagine from the perspective of a woman, it must be nice to have your own kind of place to just kind of
see what other ladies
thing.
are doing. Yeah.
I mean, to build that specific community up. You know what I mean?
Right. But yeah, dude, Street Chic. I think it's pretty dope. It just seems like an online magazine to me more than anything, but I don't think you're going to get crazy information, but just to see what's going on, it's a good resource.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned Minkara just real quick, but for anyone that's listening that has never went to Minkara, if you're looking for some real deep cut shit on how to do a certain mod or any parts that you might be able to use on your car, go on Minkara and just type in your car name. It's a really awesome website. It's organized by, so literally you type in the model of your car and you'll see a blog and you'll see anything anyone's ever done to that car that they posted on the website. It's really well organized. So if you're looking for how to do some shit or what part can fit here, obviously if it's a Japanese car, the Japanese people have done it. So Minkara is really good for that type of shit.
Right. Yeah. You're totally right. And like I said, man, there's the Y32 SEMA. For me, it was really hard to find information because it's that era of tuning really happened 10 or 15 years ago. If you think about it, the SEMA was from the Y32s stopped in 94. Was it 94 or 93? 94. And, people were really tuning them in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so it's been a long, long time since there's been any relevant media. Minkara was how I found out about the body kit that I have on the car because I was the only thing out right now is either Junction Produce or K-Brake. Or there's an Artisan Spirits lip kit. And so I was all right, what other options are there? Wald made a kit back in the day. I think you can still buy that one too. Session Arrow, which is what I have, used to make a kit. Session doesn't exist anymore. There's a bunch of stuff that at one point in time, Impul made a bunch of body panels that obviously they don't make anymore. So it's a totally different time of tuning. And that was a resource that they were using, a decade ago to document this shit was Minkara. So,
yeah. Do you want to transition real quick or take a quick detour into Stagea news? I know we brought it up on the last episode.
We're there, dog.
I got
Let's
some
go.
updates. So the Stagea has touched down in the UK and it's ready. It's doing its MOT today at a shop that I trust. Let me look up the name, give them a quick shout out.
Did it meet all your expectations or did it show up and you kind of went, oh, the carpet's kind of dirty? I don't know.
Well, so the car looks amazing. It looks damn near fresh out the showroom. And that's because the paint on it is basically brand new. When I bought the car, I knew that it got repainted because I've seen pictures of when it was bought from the auction. And the guy that I bought it from, which is Royal Trading, I'm not going to hide anything. I'm going to put everything out there for people that are looking into doing basically what I've done, which is importing a car. I went through Royal Trading. The car was repainted and it looked amazing from the pictures. No rust, nothing. Damn near stock car other than the 5-speed swap. And when it got here, me and the guy that is doing the MOT were looking it over and it looks so fucking clean. The paint is fresh. Are we still connected?
Yeah.
Okay, because you haven't said anything.
So listeners aren't going to realize this, but we've disconnected like 4 times during this episode. And so now we're just like, if one of us is quiet, it's like, are you still there? What's up? What are we doing?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, real quick. So the shop that's doing it is P Cheshire AP. So for anybody in the UK, I know we probably don't have any UK listeners, but anybody in the UK looking to get some real clean work. And when I'm talking about clean, I'm talking about damn near OEM fresh work done. This is the guy to go to. And he's like a hardcore gearhead, obviously. But Jarrod, when you get a chance, check out his website because his shit is like fresh out the factory fresh.
I'm hesitant to type on this show because my keyboard is just freaking hella loud, so I only type when I need to.
Yeah, so we were looking over the car on I guess it was Saturday, and it looked so clean. Everything was so clean, and he was like, for MOT in the UK's import laws are way more lax than the States. All you have to have basically is a fog light, and if the car has side indicators and a fog light, you can MOT it, which is like the equivalent of JCI or just like
right.
You don't have to do smog or any shit like that, and you could just go register and you're good to go, which is one of the things I actually like about the UK. They're just like, hey man, if it's got 4 wheels, you could drive it. You'll see cars from the goddamn 1930s on the road, 1920s. But then the guy gets into it, starts peeling back the layers to make sure it's good to go for his MOT. And it's nothing too crazy, nothing mechanical, I guess. But he's like, yeah, the brake lights don't work. And I was like, what? The brake lights don't work? So he starts pulling everything apart, and the wires were cut to the brake lights. So he rewired them, and they were just stuck on. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what's up with this. So he pulls down the entire column, looks over the pedals. And I guess the contact on the pedal that engages the brake lights was like all jacked up. So they were just stuck on. And so when they exported it, instead of fixing the problem, they decided to cut the wires and they took the bulbs out. So I don't know, that's overkill.
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, and that's the type of territory you get into when you're importing a car. You're saying like they didn't want the battery to die. So rather than fix the brake lights, they just chopped. Yeah. So
that's stupid. Like what an easy fix.
Yeah. When you're importing a Japanese car, this type of shit always happens. You find some shit that's just wild, which, it comes with the territory. But in the grand scheme of things, that's not that big of a deal. It got an advisory, which is when you do an MOT in the UK, they look over the car and they give you a list of things. Or like, if you don't fix this, the next time you get an MOT, you'll fail.
Right.
And those are called advisories. And one of the tie rods is just completely fucked. But it's a former drift car, I guess. It's got an LSD in it, so I'm assuming it was drifted at some point. But there's no body damage or anything. But he said, other than that, the car looks fucking amazing.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
I'm really psyched for that. I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place. We didn't talk about this at the beginning of the show, but I'm getting kicked out of my house, so I won't have a driveway anymore or a garage, and I'll just have a carport. So I only have space for 2 cars basically, and I have 3. So I don't know what I'm gonna do there, but I'm not gonna get rid of my cars. So I'll do what I gotta do. If I gotta get on OnlyFans, it is what it is.
Sell your feet, dog. Even the Beamer that you don't love, you're just gonna be like, you know what? You're my child.
Oh no, that shit's going in the trash can.
Wait, well then what's the other one? So you got the GTR and the Stagea. What's the third car?
Well, and Jumbin's car. So she has like a little Honda Civic. And she wants to drive the Stagea, but she can't drive a stick shift to save her life. I know she's never going to listen to this. It's like a super long, low wagon. She's not going to be able to drive that. So, and that's also assuming that I daily drive the GTR, which I won't because that car gives me nightmares now. So
right, which brings us into our next topic too. Is you had mentioned this before we even started, but like what the worst thing to work on was, or the worst story where you thought it would be like 5 minutes and it turned out to be, several hours. Like, tell me about this, because you told me that this turned into a shit show.
So yeah, I mean, today I'm trying, like I mentioned, I'm moving out of my house. I got to get my car to a position where it can roll again. The engine's running finally. But the suspension's all taken apart because you have to take the front end apart anyway to take the engine out.
Right.
So I was putting the front half shafts back in, and it would be an easy job, but for whatever reason on my GTR, both of the tie rods are seized, so I can't take them out. So I'm trying to like squeeze this fucking drive shaft back in this bitch, and it took me like 4 hours yesterday to do the right side. Jesus. And before you messaged me about doing the fucking podcast, I was doing the left side. But since my driveway is so small, and whoever in somebody's infinite wisdom, right in front of my garage, there's a bush on like the left side.
Yeah.
And in order to jack up my car, I have to pull it up right in front of that, like next to that bush, and jack it up. And so I'm trying to do the left side of this car, and I'm like halfway inside of a bush because I can't move the car because it's on jack stands. And like I'm up underneath this bitch trying to get this thing done, and it just won't go. I'm sure there's a way to do this the proper way, but that just assumes that you have a lift and all the proper tools, which I don't have.
Right.
So I'm trying to MacGyver this shit. I want to use my fucking torch to like loosen everything up, but I can't find my lighter. But that actually isn't my worst fucking experience working on this car. My worst experience is working on the Heike system in the rear. So there's like
shocker. Yeah, of course that's the worst part.
There's little ball joints on the outside of the hub that actually control the movement,
right?
Or translate that to the hubs.
Yeah.
And in order to register my car when I first got it here, I had to change those, even though my Heike system was locked out. Like the guys were like at the MOT were like, yeah, you have to change these ball joints because they're fucked. And I was like, the Heike system is locked out. They don't do anything. It doesn't move. He's like, yeah, well, you still got to move them because we can move them up and down. I was like, are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Like, these have nothing to do with what's going on in the suspension right now.
I see what you're saying. I mean, I guess like they kind of do. I understand what they're saying though. They're saying like there's too much play in them, and it's not serviceable. Like I get it. That sucks though, because when you lock it out, you swap the whole center, the whole like.
Yeah, I got these little shims that go on the inner part.
Yeah, I can
lock the arms to a certain length, basically, so they can't go in or out anymore. So they're just at that fixed length. It's a Tomei kit, but I took the car back and I was like, okay, I'll just pop these out. I bought new ones. They were like, $30 on fucking eBay. And I was like, I'll just pop these out, switch it over, blah, blah, blah. 3 days later, cut to 3 days later, these motherfuckers would not come out of the hub. I was fucking hammering on these motherfuckers, dude. I was praying, dude. I found religion working on these motherfuckers. And, since I didn't need them anymore, I was like hammering them without like a nut on them. I didn't care if they deformed or anything, dude. I was fucking pulling out all the stops on this shit. I had penetrating grease. And what ended up working was I just baked them with a fucking torch for like 5 minutes. Like just sat there. Actually, we talked about Mankara earlier. I found this on Mankara. I had 2 torches going. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, but torches are loud as shit. And I felt like my neighbors were about to come out and fucking say some shit. But I just had these 2 torches going. It was like... And then like that worked though. I just hit it once with the hammer, will pop out. But that's my horror story. Like working on the engine, doing interior work, all that shit is easy. Suspension work, I always dread suspension work because you usually go so long without touching that stuff that it's always seized. There's a rusted bolt that looks like it's fused to the chassis. You're like, oh Lord, help me.
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know what I've done. That's It did take me like a day and a half to put a transmission back in my Altezza. That sucked because it was just me doing it, and so yeah, trying to put a trans in by yourself sucks. And for whatever reason, the pilot bearing was just way the tolerance between the pilot bearing and the input shaft on the trans was like so tight that you pretty much had to like start threading it on the bolts to like squeeze it the rest of the way on, you know what I mean? But I don't like doing that, and with Nissans I never had to deal with that tight of a tolerance. So I was just kind of like, this should go on way easier, and so I did it for way too long, dude. I mean really. And I just remember like after several hours of trying to push this thing on, I just kind of like stopped and sat under my car, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, when you work on something for so long and you just get so discouraged and you're like, this should have taken me an hour. Oh, hell yeah, tops.
Dude, I've been there. I did the transmission of my GTR, and I literally felt that exact same way.
Yep.
And it's all-wheel drive, and that is a whole other can of worms. And it started raining because it rains here all the time. Right. And I was just like, I literally just left the transmission on the ground and went inside. I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
dealing with this anymore.
Yeah. I think that was like the most, I don't want to say heartbreaking, but that was definitely where I was like, fuck, man. Like, I'm over it.